Hello everyone, and welcome back to Aging Gracefully for the 50 Plus. I'm excited about today's live video because I keep hearing from so many of you how they want to be able to do it and do it in a much more organized manner. So we're going to dig into that today. But before we start, I have to remember to speak up because I've heard a few of you say you couldn't hear me. So I hope this is better. But we are going to keep reminding you that without your email, I cannot send you the download for the newsletter. And we had, for all of you that are into technical, we thought it was ready to go a week or 10 days ago. But with our site and everything, we had a glitch. So we're going to be ready this week. So for those of you that have not given me your email, please do. Next week, we're going to take a break from downsizing and we're going to go into the wellness guide. And I'm going to explain how to use it and why it's set up the way it is. I also will need your email to send this to you. Only those in this group will get the wellness guide. I'm not putting it out there for others. I may charge a small amount for it by the end of the year when everybody's getting ready for their New Year's resolutions or something. But for you all special folks, it's free. Also, the website. It's up and it's live. And yes, it was like giving birth. But like all babies, we love them so much. And I love my website that took so much time. But I love it. I hope you will. Check it out. There's a blog post. It's Can 2 Chairs Change Your Life? And it's a good one. It's a good post. I'm my worst critic. But what we've talked about with healthy homes, this would be one I think you would be glad you looked at it. So, in review of the 3 pillars of aging gracefully, you can recite them with me. Healthy homes, healthy lifestyles, and healthy attitudes. And talking about downsizing today, really will cover 2 of those, healthy homes and healthy attitudes, because nothing happens in life before we make a choice to make it applied, right? So, quick review of the top 10 reasons to downsize now, which was backwards when I showed it to you, or a mirror image. We have that figured out now, as you can see. But the top 10 reasons. Number 1 is be ready. This is why do it now. We never know what's going to be ahead. We don't. And I touched on what, you can go back and listen to that one for more details on all of these. But we certainly didn't expect what was in our future. And big motivation is why we're here. Your children will kiss your feet after you're gone. I don't know if many of you have had to have cleaned out your parents or other people's homes. It's an awful task if those individuals had not done much. Number 3, for most of us, decluttering and downsizing our homes is like a home cleanse. It just feels so good to get the toxins out. Clutter is stress and stuff stored away that in the back of our mind creates angst like, I need to do this. 4, Do not avoid a complete downsizing by renting storage units unless you're in transition. That's cheating. Accept the fact, number 6, that your children, your adult children, do not want your stuff. It's such a shock, I know, but I hear it, I've experienced it. 7, to live a less stressful life, possess life. That's very, very simple. Talked a lot about that. Number 8, acknowledge that every single thing you have to deal with it, and it takes up real estate. If it's out, you have to keep it clean or dusted. If it's put away, it's taking up key storage probably. And we're going to do ABC space kind of organization storage sometime in the future. Number 9, be a role model to your family and friends. They truly will notice. It's important that we use our homes and that we're people of excellence. That's enough to say about that right now. And lastly, but most important reason for me, and I hope you, is to experience life more and not be so consumed in taking care of our stuff and our possessions. And certainly at this stage of life, most of us, I don't judge, most of us are about experiencing life, not collecting things at this stage. You may find I'm not. So, on to today. We are doing the when, the how, and the where of downsizing. There are 2 major enemies of downsizing. We've touched on some of this. Number 1 is procrastination, and number 2 is refusal. That could be unconscious refusal. You are just like, I don't want to get rid of my things. I refuse. And it could be a little bit of both. But procrastination is really our biggest enemy. And unless we set goals, write it on our calendar, it's not going to happen. And some advice, and in my book I told you there's a ton of details on downsizing. Can't possibly go into it all now. But overall, eat the elephant one bite at a time. Do drawers, do a section, do whatever, and do it when you're at your best. My major move mountain time is in the morning. You come, if I try and concentrate late afternoon, it ain't so good. So these are the 2 enemies, procrastination and just plain refusal. And over here, I know in a marriage or a partnership, there's often one that will and one that won't. I say to the one that will, do what you can and leave the other one's stuff alone until hopefully they will be impressed and motivated by what you're doing, not waiting to be in agreement. Why? I won't go there. So there's a saying, and I tried to look up who it was, and it's not exactly quote from whom I researched who said this, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. We've all heard it, we've all done it. We have good intentions, but unless we apply our knowledge, get to our goals, they're just pretty thoughts or things out there. I'm going to beat this horse over and over to you all because I believe it's important. A healthy home is an organized home. A healthy life is one that doesn't have a lot of guilt, procrastination, knowing things have to be done. It's like a stone in your shoe. It's annoying up here. So there you go. When to downsize? Do it now. I have talked about that enough, the whys. I just went over the 10. Top 10 reasons to do it now. Number 2, how to decide what to do with any given thing. I think it's really a lot simpler if you can take things out of one area, you look at it, pick it up, feel it, touch it, whatever, and you ask these questions. Do I love it? In other words, do I treasure it? Will I ever use it? Will I be excited to unpack it if you're going to another location or you're remodeling and you're getting things out of the way? And lastly, or should I just toss it? So those are the questions. If it's worthless, the last one, we'll get to that. But, for instance, on the use it, or let's go to the treasure. When I was talking to Bob about this session today, he said, oh, like my Ohio University Bobcat champion football jacket, letter jacket. You know we've been married 1 million years, and we have hauled that all over the country, from New Jersey to California to Wichita to 2 places, I guess, and now here. And you betcha, that's a treasure. And it's important to Bob. He doesn't have a lot of treasures. So certainly we're keeping that. And I give no resistance. Other things, we've had resistance. And so we've had to negotiate. So use it. When we were doing things, we had like a coffee grinder. And we were like, oh, when's the last time we ground coffee? We have a Keurig. We used to get all these different beans and all that, and that's wonderful for you all to do that. We're not doing that right now. And so it went. I'm not sure who got it or what happened to it, but we didn't keep it. And then toss it. Enough said. There were things that were just beyond. The third part is the the when, how, and wheres of downsizing. What do you do with your excess? Well, family and friends, number 1. As I've said, and you all probably have done, have your adult kids come in, literally, and because memory, if they're not in town, they can't remember or they've forgotten things. So we made sure, because our kids are out of town, so we made sure that at whatever was convenient for them, knowing ahead of planning, and this is another reason to do it now, you have time for your adult kids to visit you if they're not in town and go through lamps, pictures, furniture, rugs, all that, dishes. So that takes time, and that's a huge reason to do it now and do it ahead of time. Friends, I love to entertain. I've had a lot of beautiful serving dishes and whatnot. I couldn't bring them all. So I went through and I had tables at our house in Cyprus, and I had friends come over, have at it. It was so fun, and it blessed me tremendously to see the joy some of my things brought to others, that I could see that. And then a lot of things there's nothing to do with them. They're still good for somebody, but not for you or me. For instance, you know, coats that we've had in our closet that we haven't worn. They're either too dressy or whatever, and somebody can use those. So we donated a lot for those kind of things. And there's all kinds of places. Dress for Success for women. When we get into the closet, we'll talk about that, but not today. Sell it. I hold no judgment for people that use eBay, Facebook marketing, estate sales, garage sales. There's a lot of ways, and some things that are valuable, or you're taking a huge amount of things, that makes perfect sense for many people. And the last is toss it. We had a garage sale. I mentioned this maybe. If I didn't, if I did, forgive me. Every June, we've only been here 13 months, so this was our first June here. There's, in our 26 unit smaller homes, they call them villas because we have a condominium association that takes care of outside, but they're small homes. They're not connected wall like a condo. So these 26 small homes have a garage sale every June. And so we had been storing in we called it the garage sale closet, for items that we realized we were foolish to bring. Some we really didn't know, but a lot we were just like, seriously, why did we bring this? So we put them out, low pricing. Even with some of the low prices, they didn't go. Nobody wanted them, even free. We had a free table. So those bye-bye. They just didn't happen. So the last thing to say about this is positively no guilt. I know that when we go through children's drawings and notes and all of those things, cards, do you ever look at them? Do you realize again that when we put something away, 80% of the time we will never look at it again? So I have bins from my kids that are, you know, grown, and I have bins for grandchildren. And I have to keep sorting because what I thought was, oh, I can't ever part with this, as I accumulate more, I have to then reevaluate. So I encourage you to do that. There's no guilt, you all. If you have things that somebody's given you 20 years ago or 15 years ago, they don't care if they don't see it in your home. You care. I bet you dollars to donuts. They don't care. Those are the decisions you make on what is really important and what is really a treasure. And you can't have everything be that. So this wraps up today, except we're going to, I'm going to read in this chapter on downsizing, you know, on design smarts for inspiration for your home and life. A little wrap up very quickly. I wrote, if you have the book, it's on page 39. Keep nothing out of guilt. Hello, we just talked about that. And there's more, of course, that we all know to read about. Eliminating clutter from our homes makes it easier to maintain order. That's downsizing, you all. Clutter is clutter. 80% of what is kept is never used. Stuff fills up, storage available. Just because you don't see it, it's there. And we'll talk about A, B, and C spaces and how that might be affecting your organization or your order. Ask for help. I had to. None of us can know all things about all things. And sometimes we just need a different opinion. So I think that's wise. Do it for your kids, or for, if you don't have children, do it for whom may have the task after you're gone. And lastly, sorry, nobody wants the majority of your stuff. So this wraps up today, and I think we're going to take a break from downsizing. The 3 pillars: healthy living, healthy homes, healthy lifestyles, and healthy attitudes. We're going to go into healthy lifestyles next week with the wellness guide. I think you'll find it extremely valuable for our healthy lifestyles. So I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead, and I thank you so much for being part of this group. Till the next time.